In this video, we learn how to create a first servlet program. So I have taken the previous one. This is where we worked in the previous video. I created index.html and then I gave a message, welcome to servlet class. So once you run this, you can see this message in your external browser as an output. Now we start giving something meaningful, but we keep it very simple. We are not going to see anything so complex, or we are not going to learn anything big about Java programming. So we make it very simple over here. So let me create a small form, like adding two numbers. So let me give two inputs, like enter the first number, enter the second number, and let me create a small submit button. So that's alone I'm going to do in the index. So once you click the submit button, it is supposed to add the numbers that we are giving in the first input box and the second input box. So when it comes to JavaScript, the entire scenario is different. But here we are talking about Java class. That means we have to work on servlet. So I'll teach you how to code it in servlet, and then how to map these two, HTML and servlet, using web.xml. So let's go step by step. Actually, three important things. One is HTML we should have. Another tab will be your servlet. Another tab will be your web.xml. Okay, so let's start with this index.html. Let me remove this, and we have to create a form. So type form, and we need to give action. It's compulsory, and let me give us add, as because we are adding two numbers. The purpose which I said why it is important is, here the action is what is going to help you to map this HTML with your servlet. Without the action name, you can't able to map it. Previously, while we learn HTML, I said that action or the reference name are not important, but here these two are very important. You have to mention about the reference name, and most importantly, you have to mention about the action in the form. That means once you click the submit button, what it has to be done, so where it has to take, that's our important question over here. And here the name that we give, we call that as a URL. So once you keep your mouse over there, you can see the data type is mentioned as URL. So any name that you give in action, we call it as URL. Now let me type enter first number, and I have to give input box, so I type input, and don't forget to give the type and the reference name. Here let me give as, it's going to be a text, so I give text, and you have to give the class name. So class, that means, I'm sorry, not a class, it should be a reference name. So reference name, let me give us num1. Let me copy this and start changing this num2, and this is my second number. Now I need a submit button. Again, we have to use input, and you can say the type as submit. You can close the tab. Alright, so quite simple one. Let's see whether it is working properly. So let me start this server, Apache Tomcat server. Now it's started. You can click this play button, or you can right click over here. Okay, some problem. Okay. Let me restart that again. Yeah, we got it. So it's opened and it comes everything in a horizontal, so it will be better if it comes vertical order. So let me use the break. Use 2br. Okay, now you can save and you can run again. Alright, now it's looking fine. So you can type the numbers, any number, and you can click submit. It won't work because it says it is not available. The request resource is not available. We didn't create the servlet yet. you need to create that. So and now I'll explain how to create the servlet. So your HTML part is done. Now right click on this demo project and go to new and click class. In the previous video I told you why we have to click class. Servlet is a Java programming, so Java is nothing but a class. It always represented as a class. Alright, so now it's asking few things. Alright, so you have to give a meaningful name. So let me give add servlet. And next thing, you have to mention the package. The package should always start with com dot, and then you have to give your own name, the user preferred name. So let me give my name, Joel. And the purpose of giving this package initially is to make sure that to avoid a collision of class names, because when we talk about programming, multiple programs will link with one another. So we have to identify which program belongs to who or which package. That's the reason we give this package name. So it should be having like com.joel. So automatically a package will be created for you once it's started. That's it. So you can give the name and as well as package and click finish. It will automatically create your servlet page. You can see, so under the Java resources, it has created add servlet.java. And you can see the first one, package com.joel. So anytime, everywhere, if you want to link your add servlet with any other program or any other XML, you have to use this package. And by default it is having a class name as add servlet, the same file name which is using. And here it's a Java program. People who might not be familiar about this Java programming, initially you have to mention the access specifier. Possibly it should be public, and then class, and then class name. So inside the class we start working with a lot of functions. So let me start working on the function. So let me create a function. Again, whether it's a class or a function, access specifier should be the first thing. So I have to use public space. I'm creating a class. So I say return type as void, and I use something called service. And remember, whenever we create a function name, after the return type we use a user defined name. But here this service is not a user defined name. It is something like a default library that we use, and we should not change the name to any other thing. Okay, so you're not supposed to change this service to any other name. It should be service. Alright, so now parameters, it is something like a request and response. Remember, I am requesting for adding two numbers. So inside the parameter, you have to create two objects. One is for the HTTP request, and another one should be a HTTP response. So I'll tell you how to use that. So use HTTP servlet, and remember, wherever I'm using caps, small, it's all case sensitive. So here H is a capital letter, and then S in capital letter, and then request R in capital letter. Okay, and don't leave any space. HTTP servlet request space, and then you have to mention the object name. It can be a user defined name. I say something as REQ, comma. The next one is HTTP servlet response. The same HTTP servlet response space res. That's the object name again. And now you can open the curly brace and you can start working. Now remember, you can see an into symbol. If you see any into symbol, that means that's a warning. So it says something what it is. Multiple markers at this line. HTTP servlet response cannot be resolved to a type. It cannot be resolved to a type. Now once you keep the server, your cursor over here, it is saying it is coming with some quick fixes how to fix this error. Remember, HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet responses are library functions where you have to use it inside a code. So how to use that? Just keep the cursor above this. Automatically it will appear. The first one, it says import. Remember, you have to click that. Once you click that, automatically the package comes over here. You can see import some servlet.http servlet request. Remember, it's a package. You have to use this package if you are accessing this, right? Again, the same, you have to keep the cursor here and you have to click import. So you got two packages to use, request and as well as for response. Now the error is gone. You don't need to worry about that as of now. All right. Now the programming is quite simple. Now I need to add two numbers. So let me introduce a variable. Obviously it will be integer. So let me say integer I equal to. Now I have to get the parameters. So what are the parameters I used in HTML? Remember, these are the parameter I'm talking about. For first number I used num1, and second number, let me zoom this so it'll be easy for you. Yeah. For first I used num1 and second I used num2. Now I go over here, I have to use that. How to use? Yes, we have to use req since we are requesting. So req dot, we have a again some method called get parameter. Okay, parameter. All right, so this method that we have to use req. That's a method. I'm sorry. That's an object that I have used. Req dot get parameter. Now inside this method, I have to use num1 in double quotes. Okay, that's it. Now the reason I am using this is to access from HTML. If I'm using some variable inside the Java, I don't need anything like this. Since I'm accessing these names, so if you want access from HTML, I have to use something like this. Okay, request, and you can see again some kind of error which is showing over here. So let me keep over here. It says type mismatch, cannot convert from string to integer. Exactly. If you give anything in double quotes, obviously it is a string, but here I am giving a return type as integer. So you can't give a string. A string cannot be converted into integer. So I have to make this as a integer first. So what you have to do is, before this req.get parameter, we can use another method called integer, right? Integer dot parse, and then in capital int. Okay, integer dot parse int. That means this method will help you to convert your string into integer. Now we have to give everything inside the bracket. And remove this. So req dot get parameter and close one more bracket here. That's it. So automatically it will be converted. Your error is gone, and you can copy this to C to V, and you can give this as J, and here it is not num1, it is num2. And all right, so that's it. You don't need to worry about the error messages over here. You don't need to bother about that. As of now, we are done. We have converted string to integer. We have called two variables. That's sorry, I'm sorry, two values, that is num1 and num2. And next step, we need to add this. So I have to introduce one more variable, integer k equal to I plus j. As simple. That's it. Right now the value is stored in k. Now we need to display this. I need to print this. So if you want to print anything, if you are going for C or C++, we use printf, scanf, or C in, C out. In Java we use system, where S is in capital letters, system.out.println, and then open the bracket, and here you can give a message, say the result is, and you have to concatenate it. So plus k holds the value. That's it. Now I save this. Now let me run this. So if you want to run, please don't run this in add-servlet.java. You have to go to index.html and then right click and run as run on server. So it will restart your server, and your browser will open automatically. Okay, so let me give the numbers. Let me give 4 plus 2. And if I click submit, what it says, again that's an error. It says the request resource is not available. Again, the problem here is I have created HTML file, I have created a Java file, I have used the values from HTML over here, but remember I didn't map these two. And in basic, if you are using HTML and CSS, we do the mapping. That's a very basic thing that we use. The same thing we have to do over here. So if you want to do the mapping, obviously we have to use go to web content and go to this meta inf, I'm sorry, web inf, and you can see this web.xml. This is your important thing where it will map your HTML and your Java. And not only HTML and Java, it will help you to map, link any pages that you're using in this Eclipse. Now double click this, it will open up over here as a new page, and there are a lot of things. You don't need to worry about this display and your welcome messages. You can delete all this, but please remember you have to keep the first two lines. That will help you to link, right? So here, if you remember in one class which I told you how to link or how to use this web.xml, there are two important things, two important tags we'll be using. One is a servlet tag, another one is a servlet mapping tag. In both these tags we'll be having two more tags. In servlet tag we'll be having a servlet name and servlet class, and inside the servlet mapping again we have servlet class but URL pattern. I'll show you. First we need this servlet tag, and inside this servlet tag we have two more tags. One is servlet name, and the next one is servlet class. Okay, now the next main is servlet mapping, so we have to use servlet mapping. Again, inside this we have servlet name, and instead of servlet class we have URL pattern. Okay. Now I'll tell you the servlet name is common for both the servlet and servlet mapping, as because we have to give some name, common name that will link both this mapping or the class and as well as the URL. So let me give us XYZ, but you're supposed to give some meaningful name, but I'm keeping it simple here. The same XYZ should be given inside the mapping also, XYZ in mapping. Now inside the class, servlet class, so what is the class name here? It is add servlet, so you have to give add servlet. But remember, we are using this add servlet outside, so it should be having its library file. So what is the library file that we give? So com dot my name Joel. So that's what we have given here, com dot Joel. So let me zoom this. Okay, so I have given com dot Joel dot add servlet. So that's a class name. So that's fine. Now URL. So what is the URL we have? Uh, add is a URL that we have. So you have to use this add, but before that you have to use one forward slash. So that's something mandatory, you have to use it. Okay, so please remember the servlet name should be common in both this servlet and mapping, and this class should be having the your package, the name package, and as well as the name, file name, and here you have to use the URL with the forward slash. Okay, now save this. Uh, now save this. Now go to index.html and run this. So right click, run as run on server. Okay, now let me give some value 4 and then 9, so that should give 13. If I click submit, alright, so there's an error. It says com.joel.addServlet is not a servlet. Okay, we have a servlet request and then we have servlet package. Alright, so one important thing which I forgot here, yeah, I should check this error. Yeah, it's not a servlet, because I just forgot to mention this. After this public class add servlet, you have to use something called HTTP servlet. If you want to access this HTTP servlet, we need to extend that here. So that I forgot. So we have to use something called extends, it's a plural, extends, and then you have to use HTTP servlet, right? Again, it's a warning message, not a warning, it's a error message. So we have to include this. We have to import this again. So I'm importing this. Okay, that's the most important thing I just forgot to mention, because if you are using HTTP servlet in parameter, it's very important that you have to use extends in the class name itself. So if you use extends HTTP servlet, automatically you can, or they give a permission to access or use HTTP servlet request and as well as response. So that's a blender that I made. So it's not about the name. Okay, so let us try again. So make sure you're saving. So if you see a star symbol, yeah, it is saved. Now again, right click and run as server. So it will restart again. Okay, now we can give some number. Let me give 4 and then 2 and click submit. Nothing. I don't see the output. What happened? So if you go back there and you can see in the console, so you know the console bar tab is opened and you can see the output over here. The result is 6. But we are supposed to get the output not here. We are supposed to get it in the browser. Since I give this system.out.println in this at servlet, so it is printing or it is showing the output in the console page itself. So if you want to bring this output in the browser, so I need to make a small change. You should not be using this. So let me hide, and we have to use two more methods. One is print writer. Okay, that's one thing, and then that's a method we have to use. And let me say a user defined name. You can say any name. I'm giving as op for output, and then we have to give a response. So res. So that's a response object we have used, res. So res dot, you have to get this writer. Okay, so it's something default where you have to use it. Again, some error message. We have to use this import. So let me use this import also, and again get writer. Get writer, it is asking for exception handling. We have to use this throw declaration. So once you click this, you can see the throw will come over here in the function name. It will automatically throws an IO exceptions. So these two are something mandatory where you have to use it. So one is a library for I'm sorry, one is a import file for print writer. Another one, it asks for your throw IO exception. Okay, so the next line, let me use this op. So what I have to do, so op dot, I need to print this. So use print ln. Now you can give a message here, say result of num1 and num2 is, I can say plus k. That's it. Okay, now you can save this. Now again go back and right click, run as run on server. Let me give the numbers. Let me give 34 and then 2. So you should get the answer as 36. Yeah, now we got the message here in the browser itself. Result of num1 and num2 is 36. So this is how we have to work with HTML and a Java file, and these two will be mapped using web.xml. So in the next video, we see more about how to work on this Java programming, and we see about some other methods also. We have something called request dispatcher, and then we have something called URL redirect. So these are all something important, as well as we have sessions and cookies. So we see step by step. This one is a basic one, how to use HTML, how to use at servlet, and how to use web XML to map this servlet and HTML. I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.